Hello, friends. We're back again. Welcome to Fightful. It's December 18th, 2025. I am at Joel Pearl, thejoelpearl.com on Blue Sky, and it's time for your TNA Impact post-show review, the last one for the year 2025, because next week they're doing a 10-person tag that is incredibly wacky. You'll see, I promise. It's random. You'll see it if you do. And then they're going to do year-end awards, and then I believe the week after that is probably something along the lines of best ofs from the year, and I'm sure it'll be great. But this is my last week for the year doing these TNA post shows. So come hang out for a bit, would you? While you're at it, leave a thumbs up on the video. We always appreciate that. And of course, you can subscribe to our channel here at Fightful and over at Fightful Overbooked. That's where I do In the Weeds. It's our morning show. If you don't know about it yet, it's better than Busted Open. We don't do things like the Busties. Maybe one day we'll do the Weedies, but that's just me. Oos. Day one. Anyway, I'm done. You can also donate a super chat any amount, get your question or statement read on the air. And of course, you can head on over to humperchats.com. That's the best way to support us as well. And the lifeblood is Fightful Select. You want the best news, the breakingest news, the most accurate news before someone tries to aggregate it and change the words and copy your homework, but just change a little bit, but then they lose all meaning. Trust me, the words matter. Get it right, get it proper, support creators and original reporting. Well sourced, by the way, over at FightfulSelect.com. More on that in just a little bit. TNA ends in a bit of a mixed bag, I would say. I think this year has shown that a television deal is a good opportunity on an otherwise not so heavily creative influenced type of year. But at least they're doing a couple things differently. They're getting AMC. We have a new number one contender for the TNA World title that's going to be defended on the first show of 2025. And we caught up a little bit to what NXT's been showing you for the last, 2 months. So there's some stuff that's working and there's some stuff that's still at the mercy of not understanding how live versus tape television could work and how partners could speak a little bit better. But that's neither here nor there. It's the reality of TNA. Some stuff gets completely thrown out the window and some stuff catches up in the right time. But when we get to 2026, the hope is when you get to that show, get a little stronger. That's what we're hoping for in 2026 is a stronger creative TNA with a different production style and maybe just a little bit more of an identity that's not just, hey, look at us, we're working with WWE. And that's good. But also they need that identity. They need to be able to show that they have some young up and coming talent and some people that they're bringing in that have their own voices. And I think they did a little bit of that tonight when they opened up with the 20-man battle royal. Now I'm going to read you the names on this, and I'm going to tell you there are a lot of really inspired names, and there are a lot of good opportunities for some of these names. There was 20 people in this thing. You had Eric Young, Mance Warner, Rich Swann, Trey Miguel, Zachary Wentz, Myron Reed, Hometown Diener. Yeah, that's right. Ryan Nemeth, Cedric Alexander, Jason Hotch, Jake Painter, BDE, Jake Something, Judas Icarus, Travis Williams, CW Anderson, Brock Anderson, Moose, Jesse Funaki. Yes, Funaki's son Jesse was part of the tapings in El Paso, and Bear Bronson. Now, let me tell you, right off the bat, there are a bunch of people here who are in tag teams and can continue to be in tag teams because that's a division that also needs a big helping hand going into 2026. The Hardys are great. The Hardys are tentpole talents, but the Hardys being the top of the TNA tag division, as good as it is for TNA, it's time to start building to that next rung. It's time to start building to that next team. The Righteous are a start. They're starting to at least give you a little bit more behind the Righteous story. And I think tonight was a pretty good indication of what you can expect from them. And it's not a bad thing. I think they started them a little haphazardly. I think they're trying something. I still don't love the idea of bringing them in to shoot up to the top, but I'm willing to let it play out because they're trying to get creative, and sometimes that hits and sometimes it doesn't, but it's the Hardys, so I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. However, in this particular 20-person battle royal, you had a lot of tag team opportunities. There were 3 in here alone who could be standouts in that tag division, and that's the Rascals. Any combination of the 4, by the way. Dez wasn't in the match, but he's still working with TNA on a per appearance basis. You got guys there. You got Sinner and Saint. Those two guys, they're prime. To me, they should be working into a big 2026 because not only can those guys work, but they've worked with some of the best talent in TNA. They had Josh Alexander before he went to AEW. They've had Eric Young before they moved on from him. It's time to give Sinner and Saint more and more and build, because you have a team there that can absolutely run your division with a little more in it. And the Andersons. This was a shock when they showed up at Final Resolution, because by all accounts, Brock Anderson and MLW had plans to continue working together. And I guess, well, that's pretty much negated. As Fightful Selected reported, MLW had plans to work with Brock, and it seems like that's not going to move forward, or who knows? We'll see. CW Anderson, who's been around wrestling for a hell of a lot of years, he's still going, and he's still looking good. Hell, in some cases, he's looking better than he's looked in the last 20 years. It's amazing. So this battle royal, though, was all about getting a number one contendership for the TNA World Championship. Bear Bronson wins. Very, very happy about this. Not just because I like Bear as a human being, and because Bear has had an incredible year on the indies. He broke out. He went from being the guy who just got stuck with an unenviable situation in a shitty situation when his tag partner was rightfully fired from AEW for domestic assault charges that were brought, and Bear got stuck, and he couldn't be repackaged, so he was gone. AEW let his contract run out, and Bear said, no, I still got stuff to do. And Bear's gone out, and he has absolutely worked incredibly hard. He's been in a tag team with his wife, Gabby Forza, who was also part of Lodestone, Bailey's training camp for women wrestlers from all across the world. And Bear has proven that he can work any style, not just hardcore, not just thumbtacks, and I guess I'm giving you more hardcore, not just intergender tag. He can work a straight style. He can work a hardcore style. He can work a funny style if you let him. He absolutely has an opportunity to continue breaking out, does Bear Bronson, and he wins this 20-man battle royal. I like Frankie Kazarian on commentary. He has his zings here and there. Says he smells good because he's wearing his cologne. It's called Tom Sucks. Of course, I'm referencing Tom Hannafin. He calls CW Anderson. He says, I've been calling him Quanderson. This is just stupid little comedy stuff. He's learning all the names of the people in the battle royal for later, and it's just he's pretending to be above everything, which is great. I thought Frankie was actually quite fun for this battle royal. There was a spot where they did the tease for Jake Something and Bear Bronson, and all I could say was, yes, please. Those are two guys that should be absolutely meeting up in the ring and having a banger one-on-one match. Anytime, anywhere, just make it happen. Later on, AJ Francis does eliminate Rich Swann, who was in the match. AJ Francis was not. He hits a down payment on Swann on the ring apron after he eliminates him, and then he shakes Ryan Nemeth's hand, and Ryan is just confused, which we all are, because Ryan Nemeth got really deep into this match when, well, it's Ryan Nemeth. The final three are Eric Young, Bear Bronson, and the aforementioned Hollywood hunk brother, Ryan. And then Bear last eliminates Eric Young after Eric thought he had eliminated Bear, but he celebrates too early. So Eric gets dumped with a back body drop by Bear onto the apron, and Eric Young falls to the floor. Bear wins. Big reaction from the crowd because the guy who just showed up is suddenly in prime position for a world title shot. Now, I don't think people are coming in here being like, Bear's got to win. Bear's got to win. This is going to cement him. That's not what this is about. Listen, after what happened on NXT this past week with Thea Hale, any shock finish would be hilarious and would be fantastic and welcomed by your boy. But, this is opportunity. You see what this guy does. You see what this guy can bring, and you build your anticipation for him to grow in the company. And how does he do that? He cuts a promo with Gia Miller afterwards in the back where he says he feels validated. He says the scars tell the story, the ones on my back, the ones on my forehead, the blood that I've spilled in rings all across the US, the pain, it was all worth it. He talks about his wife who believed in him even when she was scared but knew he was up for better things. And then he said, I just kicked down the front door of Frankie Kazarian's kingdom. And all I could say was, Yes, you did. And I don't expect him to win. And honestly, I'd be happy if he doesn't, but I hope he puts up a hell of a fight. And I hope he looks good. And I hope this makes people understand that there are people who deserve these chances to grow and learn in TNA. And we'll talk about someone else who is going to get that chance because they seem to be slow walking the dog with her after people were nervous about how she would get treated in TNA. And we'll get to that in a minute. I'm solo, so I got to drink something. Keep my throat going. The Angel Warriors. Let's move on from this battle royal that I'm very excited about. The Angel Warriors, they defeat Mila Moore and Tessa Blanchard, who are still with Robert Stone for some reason after we supposedly blown off the NXT storyline. Again, why is Robert Stone back with the team that he was managing for a short period back in May? Well, I understand like they did explain that he's back with them, but why? If this was the blow off and he's supposed to be the assistant to the NXT general manager, why isn't the NXT general manager, Ava, looking at this and being like, why? I can't trust this guy. He's working with the enemy. He's working with Mila Moore and Tessa Blanchard and with Victoria Crawford. Why is he still in my employ? If I'm talking about the partnership, quote unquote, I'd be sending him to TNA permanently, telling him you're not office at NXT. But it's not my show. It's not my creative. If it was, I'd be addressing that. Regardless, this was actually a really solid knockouts tag match, move-wise. From the finish, I'm still a little questioning what's up. A lot of heel cheating spots. The extended beatdown of Lang Lee was very clearly trying to get the knockouts division, quote, on notice. You know, Lang Lee could be beat down, and Tessa was the one doing the beat down. They did the hot tag that was stopped by Robert Stone, which I thought was really well done. The whole thing was just, you got 4 heels and you got 2 baby faces. The 4 heels are going to outnumber the baby faces, and they're just going to take over the match. It's a good, solid paint by numbers match, but it's well played and it's well executed. Lee fights through, gets a single leg crab on Tessa. Moore makes the save, and eventually Xia Brookside gets a hot tag. She does a really good tandem DDT neckbreaker on Blanchard and Moore by using Blanchard's kind of direction on Moore while she does the neckbreaker. It was good stuff. Lee gets the win. Lang Lee pins Mila Moore because, of course, she's using a swinging face buster called the Warrior's Way. To which I say, so why? Are we bringing the car around again for Tessa? Because this would be, by my count, the 3rd time that we're trying to do something with Tessa. Are they hoping that if we keep trying around and around and around, eventually the crowds are just going to start putting up with her? Is it the hope that there's fatigue to the point where we just kind of beat them into submission and then we give her an opportunity? And I know that I'm spinning my pin around and some people might get sick, and I'm sorry. But the point is, what's the point? In the back, you had Robert Stone trying to, get everyone's hopes up and be like, oh, who are you? We're the Diamond Collective, and we're going to challenge 3 knockouts to a match. And the one funny thing that came from it was Robert Stone, saying, and you, Victoria, you're great. And she's like, I am great, because she's a psychopath. If you haven't figured it out on TV, she's a psychopath. She's a loose cannon. And if you say anything bad about her, she might just go off the deep end. But meanwhile, he's saying, Tessa, you're a former world champion, and you say it louder. And then she does the same. Mila Moore, you're going to be, the breakout star of the year. He's trying to pump up the troops. I understand why, but I don't understand what this is in service of, because they keep losing. And if this is their down in the dumps moment, they lost to the Knockouts title holder and her tag team partner, who is not a slouch in her own right. So what does this accomplish? They call out 3 women for a Knockouts match, 3-on-3. Who's it going to be? I'm assuming it's somewhere along the lines of the Inspiration and Jada. Oh no, it's not even that. It's going to be Harley Hudson, Miley Grace, and maybe one more. Who knows? Regardless, there's just, again, it feels like they're just trying to get Tessa back in and around so that she can face Lang Lee, not at the pay-per-view. And we'll tell you why in a minute, but could be that they're doing that at Rebellion and they're going to come all the way around again to do a Tessa match for the Knockouts World title. Your boy's not ready for that. I'm not ready, and I'm not interested. I don't think many people are, and I think at this point they're hoping that people are just fatigued on the Tessa deal. The Angel Warriors win, but I wonder why. Why continue like this? Danny Luna's backstage. She wants a title shot. She thinks her dog collar match warrants it. And yes, it absolutely does. To the point where Lang Lee says, I'm not going to run from Danny Luna. And Xia Brookside like, yeah, the Luna's still scary. But Lang Lee is just like, yeah, but I'll face her, and calls her a bitch. And it's probably going to be the match at Genesis, Danny Luna, Lang Lee for the Knockouts World title. I welcome that. Honestly, I welcome Danny Luna beating Lang Lee. I know it's a short run for Lee, but Danny Luna's proven her spot more than you'd expect. Very big fan of what Danny Luna's done in a very short period of time. People were calling for her to be the top dog in the Knockouts division as early as Slammiversary, but going into Bound for Glory, people wanted Danny Luna. Well, now they're getting Danny Luna, and they're seeing what she's capable of doing in this new mindset, and I like it, and I want it. Elijah has another concert. This is going to be a really quick review at this point. There isn't a lot to talk about. They really milked that steel cage match. And there's not much more that I'm going to try and milk. This Elijah concert, guys, once upon a time, I was a professional musician, and I also did live sound. Another out-of-tune guitar every single time. Just kill me. Just stop it. Stop doing these things. Stop doing these in-ring concerts. If your guitar is going to be out of tune the second you walk out there, I understand it. It's different. The air in the back is different from the air in the front. It's hotter under the lights. You have to tune your guitar. I don't care if it takes an extra second. You're recording the show. Tune the flipping guitar, man. It was not good. I see people in the chat saying they turn it off, set a timer. Probably good. But you know what? Like, they saved the segment once Ali comes out. By the way, Elijah being at John Cena's last match and basically sneaking onto the floor to get dabbed up. John Cena must have been like, huh? What are you doing here? And Kevin Owens is just like eyeing him down, just be like, huh? What is this guy? It was very funny. Just killed him. He's just snuck right in onto the floor. Anyway, Tasha Steelz comes out with Agent Big Bill Zero. They put down a podium. And then she brings out Mustafa Ali, who calls the lasso in El Paso the darkest day in pro wrestling. And goddamn, he's right. Get in your super chats, get in your humper chats. Tell us how the lasso in El Paso was the darkest day in pro wrestling for you. Tell me why. Ali vows revenge, and Elijah just cuts him off. He gets beat down, Elijah does, by the great hands. He fights back, Elijah does, and then stands up to Tasha Steelz, moves her out of the way, but Ali hits him with the guitar, knocks him down. And all I can say is, I really hope that this adds to Elijah losing to Ali getting himself a world title shot once we get past the nonsense of the world title with Kazarian and Nick Nemeth and Santana and Bear Bronson and Ryan Nemeth and Eric Young. And once we get past all this stuff, let's make it Ali Santana one more time. Just get it over with. It's a good question. Why did the guitar have powder in it? Is it a sound thing? No, it's a lazy thing. They put powder in the guitar because they thought it would create a reaction of some sorts. It's cocaine. It's smuggled in the guitar. We got to talk to Elijah. He's got a thing. He's either a drug mule or he's getting in there. We gotta talk to him. This is serious. But regardless, I don't know why they put it in there, because they think it's gonna look good for TV, but it's not something you need to do. It's just a powder for powder's sake. It is what it is there. So at least we're intentionally building towards what I could assume is a world title shot for the winner of this. And I don't hate that. Again, I want Ali to have a great showing coming out of this, and I think Elijah's good enough to keep up with Ali and to have a good match with him, and we can get Ali to, like I said, a world title shot against a guy like Santana once he's free and clear from all the other stuff. And if that's the case, I'm for it. I'll take Ali doing a story that's based on, one-upsmanship and problem than it is a title, because Ali doesn't need a title to be entertaining. He's very good the way he is. Now, I mentioned at the top how they're trying to slow walk the dog with some talent and that it's a good thing. Indy Hartwell's actually one of those. Indy came in with a lot of fanfare. And one thing that I appreciate from TNA is that when they bring certain talent in, they give them some space to grow and build a character and learn. And they've stopped just being like, former WWE guy, you get a title. It used to be that way. They're showing some restraint. Ash by Elegance was probably the most notable the last couple of years. When she came in, everyone was like, oh my God, we're going to do this immediately. And then they didn't. They let her figure out her character. They let her build a character. They let her get better in the ring than she's ever been. And I understand she's not the best wrestler you'll ever see, but she is much stronger now than she was years ago. And when they finally gave her that Knockouts title, it was great timing. She had proven herself as a commodity in TNA and someone that you could put your Knockouts division under, and she would do well. That's what they're trying to do with Indy. And I think that the dog collar match was a good start for her because it showed, as she said, a level, something that she hadn't had before. She said a level she had never hit before, something along those lines. But this is good. This is a great place for her to build and develop her skills. And she's working alongside WWE, but not for WWE. And why do I say that? She's coming from WWE. A lot of things are learned. TNA has some similarities. She's working with coaches who have the potential to help her continue to learn and grow. And she's working with people who can also help her learn and grow. For that, if they really expect Indy to be that girl in a year, there's potential. I think the dog collar match starts that. I think this promo shows that they're willing to, like I said, slow walk the dog to give her the chance to be the top dog in the Knockouts division. And that's fantastic. Let it build. Don't just give it to her because she's the last one out of NXT most recently. I can wait. And I think you can too. But you know what I can't wait for? I can't wait for the holidays. And I can't wait for y'all to get your shopping done. Because if you haven't gotten your shopping done, you should probably go to Aura Frames and pick up one now and use the promo code FIGHTFUL to get $35 off. And when you look, you're probably like, what is Aura Frames? Okay. It's a beautiful digital photo frame. And what do you want to do with a beautiful digital photo frame? You want to go to the Aura app and you want to upload your photos, your videos, your memories for your loved ones. Or maybe you want to send them to your enemies. Look how much fun I'm having with my family while you're just doing whatever. Go ahead. Be miserable. Here's my family. I love them. And every day you just upload a new photo to the app being like, I got that sucker. But you did it because you got an Aura frame and you got $35 off using the promo code FIGHTFUL. And you showed them Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, whatever you did, Happy Holidays. You got what you deserved. But on the nice side, you also maybe got it for someone you loved. Maybe someone who's not very tech savvy but wants to see your family or their own. You can help them upload through the Aura app. You can get a beautiful gift box that's included when you order. And of course, you can personalize it, add a little message, because some people like to write a very verbose card going into the holidays. Some people, my mother, God bless, she'll write, Dear Joel, comma, and then whatever the actual line is on the card, she'll use that as if it's her own. Love, Mom. And I'm like, all right, well, that's the love I get. But you can show more love than that with Aura Frame, because you can get a personalized gift and add a message, one that says more than just love you, one that has with a smile that will echo through the ages, whatever you want. I don't care. It's up to you. You're the creative one here. I'm just the one talking to you about Aura Frame. So head over there right now, auraframes.com/fightful. Use the promo code, get $35 off. Terms and conditions apply, but you will absolutely love your Aura Frame, especially coming into the holidays. We're in the home stretch. We're almost done. We're almost ready. For me, it's Hanukkah. I'm already halfway through. All the presents are done. We've already picked them up. We were ahead of the game. Got myself a present today. Talk about it tomorrow and in the weeds. That's the morning show that I host with Jeremy Lambert. It's Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern. Have you been listening? You should be. Moose wants his X Division title rematch at Genesis. Now, Cedric Alexander walks in. He won the right to face the X Division champion. He's next in line. And the first thing I said is, oh, Leon Slater's totally gone. Leon Slater has been more featured on WWE programming than on TNA programming over the last little while. And you know what? Good for him. The man is young and deserving of an opportunity. I'm more than willing to accept that by rebellion, a guy like Leon Slater is a part of the NXT roster. Fine by me. And if Moose is the guy to win it back, I don't know if I love that. But if Moose gives him a banger match and then Leon drops it to someone who's worthy, I'm all for it. I don't know where I want to see this. I don't know if they're going to do Cedric Alexander versus Leon Slater on the pay-per-view or if they're going to do it on the AMC debut. One of those two matches will happen on one of the cards and the other one should happen at the other card. But with Leon, he's just a curious case because, again, he's been so featured. He just won the number one contendership for the NXT title, and that's going to be on New Year's Evil. That's going to be the first week of January back. So for me, I mean, I pitched this a while ago. Yeah, I think I even said it on this show, but I've said it on In the Weeds. I said Leon should have won the match and just said, I want my NXT title shot at the AMC debut because I want home field advantage. And if he's not going to win, sure, but at least he's on a grand stage. Bigger stage than the PC crowd. Why not? Why not force Obafemi to have to go work a TNA match, right? Especially it's live. Why not? But regardless, he's going to do that. And he was on Saturday night's main event teaming with Javon Evans on John Cena's last match. So clearly there are very obvious concepts to bring in Leon Slater when he's available. We saw them buy out Joe Hendry's contract. They could do it again. Could they do it sooner than what they did with Joe? Joe only had a couple of months left. As far as I understand it, Leon Slater has got until October because that's when he signed 3 years ago. And if the contract was 3 years, which I'm pretty sure Fightful Select reported it is, then they could buy him out. But I don't know when they will. And as I talked about on In the Weeds, I feel like if you're going to do it, you got to make sure that Leon Slater gives up the title in the best way possible. And you know what? I'll give you one more option you can do, and that's option C. Why not take option C, slap it on the table? Leon Slater wants to have one last banger with the champion. Who that champion is, I don't know. I hope it's Mike Santana. And let Santana put down Slater and be like, you're a hell of a guy. You deserve this. And that's his swan song. And that's what it is. No one's going to hate Leon Slater losing on the way out if he has a competitive match and shows that he deserves to be welcome on any locker room, anytime. Option C hasn't been used since Frankie Kazarian used it. And I think that was Overdrive going up against Josh Alexander. Something like that. It's been a while since option C has been used. A couple of years. Maybe it's time for old Leon if he's going to go do a WWE run, which I wouldn't be surprised. And you shouldn't be either because it's all there. Steel cage match, baby. This is the main event. Getting your super chats, getting your humper chats. Telling you, man, this is not going to be a long review tonight. So get it in, get it going. Tell your friends. Support us on all podcast platforms. Leave a 5-star review if you're listening in the audio realm. We would greatly appreciate it. And of course, leave a thumbs up here on this channel. Subscribe to Fightful. They're using the old school cage, one with the big rectangular, the big square holes in the middle. So you can, this is a circle that I'm making, but it's supposed to be more like this. Anyway, they're using a big square holed steel cage. It's like they rented one from Connecticut and we're just like, give me the old one. It's fine. It's a war game style match. They had the first two men fight for 2 minutes, and then every minute thereafter, they brought someone in. It was very TV match style war games. I don't hate it. It was fine. It's similar but different. It wasn't a direct ripoff of what you'd expect from a WWE show, but this worked. Brooks Jensen and Mike Santana, they start. They would also finish the match. Santana comes out in his low rider, which was great. Little tribute to Eddie Guerrero in El Paso, Texas, where they were taping. So that was good. Lexis Singh comes out and he's got his cane. Oh, buddy. I don't want to tell you all about it, but here was the other opportunity, the other option we had for Leon Slater dropping the X Division title. He drops it to Lexis King. And he calls it the Lex Division. The Lex Division. Do you like it? I hate it, but I need it. He calls it the Lex division. And he beats Leon Slater. That's what I would do. Steve Maclin comes out next. He's wearing street clothes. Bless that man. He understands the assignment and his Punisher face paint, as he sometimes does. Thought it was very apropos because everyone else was wearing some form of their gear, but he came out and he was just street clothes, straight up, get it out, get it done. Tyson chat's not happy about this. It's the Lex division. Have fun. Tyson DuPont comes out next from High Rise. Matt Hardy comes out and he gets blindsided at the ring by Tyreek Igwe, who's the other member of High Rise. Tyreek gets in the cage. It's 4-2. Jeff Hardy comes out. He goes to check on Jeff. This is actually Jeff. They mentioned this was his first cage match in 7 years. His last one was at WWE Extreme Rules in 2017. He faced The Bar. Remember that team? That was how long ago that was. The Hardys together in a cage. Stacks comes out next. He's the international champion. And then the Righteous come out and they abduct Matt Hardy. And I was like, well, this is one way to keep that story going. You elevated it. You made a quick run into the Righteous being creepier, which was good. I like that. Santino comes out and then it's all about Stacks and Santino. Now, then the match really begins. The match beyond the actual, you can pin somebody here. I don't hate this match. I thought everyone did their job, but it's really hard when you're doing 10 men in a cage, all trying to get their shit in. The NXT guys are idiots because at one point they get the upper hand and then they climb the cage to gloat, and then all the TNA guys get back up and then they start the hope spot. And I'm like, I get the NXT guys are supposed to be young and stilly and maybe ahead of themselves, but like, they're not that dumb, are they? It's just like in a battle royal, and this happened also in the battle royal at the beginning of the night, where people go up on the top rope and they do the fists and they do the punches, and like the opponent just dumps you over. And it happened twice. It happened to Hometown Diener, and it happened to BDE from Ryan Nemeth of all people was the one doing it. So this was a similar situation. The NXT guys are idiots. They climb the cage, they gloat, TNA gets back up and they do the hope spot. Maclin hitting a caught in the crosshairs while Stacks' legs are in those big square bars. I thought that was really good stuff. It was different. The camera angle was better for it because normally it's in the corner. This time we got it to the side. That looked really good and loved that. They did the Tower of Doom spot. Maclin at one point goes to the top rope and then everybody called their spot. Unfortunately, if you're listening with headphones, you could hear 1, 2, 3 to set it up. That's just an audio fix. that's all that is. But Tower of Doom, everyone goes down. Santana pins Brooks Jensen. Like I mentioned, they start the match, they finish the match. He does it with spin the block. So Santana does the thing that he promised he was going to do, get rid of the guys who cost him his title back then. That was fine. And then they're going to do this to us. Santino threatens Stacks after the match. He's going to beat him up and everything. And then Ariana Grace comes out. And she's wearing all black minus the coat. And you're just like, well, what do heels do in wrestling when they're wearing all black? She does the thing that basically she's been doing for the last month on NXT. When apparently her dad doesn't watch NXT because she's been a real dick to everybody. Well, that's because she kicked her dad in the dick this time. So Ariana Grace sides with her fiance, which I figure most people would do. Don't know why Santino's an idiot, but I do because I rant about it weekly that Santino is in fact an idiot on TNA programming. The human being, I don't have a problem with him. I think Anthony's a very smart guy. But the character is an idiot. You knew it was coming. Like I said, she was wearing black, and also she's been a heel in NXT for months. And I'm just like, what are we doing? Was this the end of the NXT people in TNA, or do we just bring them back? I mean, Stacks is the international champion. Robert Stone is running roughshod with the Diamond Collective. So at least two of them have branched out to something else. Grace could always bring people back. So is the story going to be Ariana Grace brought in the NXT talent? We still don't have that answer. And I'm sure Grace is just going to be like, yeah, I did it because I wanted to be my own girl or something. And it's going to be that. And we're going to, I ranted about this once before. I'm not going to do it again to the extent that I did on In the Weeds. Slammiversary, when Santana didn't win and everyone was upset. What happened? what happened with the fans? Fans wanted on Tuesday's NXT for TNA to show up and cause a big ruckus and rah TNA, we're going to win our titles back, blah, 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 blah. No, they sent Santino. And Santino gifted himself a North American title shot against Ethan Page that week. That's how they got back. So here we are again, looking down the barrel of a Santino going for a title and how he's going to win it back from Stacks. And if that's where we're going, I am just not interested. Especially if that's a pay-per-view match or an AMC match. There is no reason for those to exist. At this point, I would rather Stacks have to... Santino has the authority. He can be putting Stacks against the biggest, baddest people on the roster and having them squash him every week. Yeah, Jake something win the international title. We wanted to do that at one point. No, now you can do it because Santino, as the director of authority, can make the match. No holds barred, no disqualification, whatever. Santino's the referee. I don't care. Make your son-in-law look like a giant dick by getting pinned and squashed by Jake something or whoever. I don't care. I do not need to see Santino win the international championship in 2026 at all. And I don't want to see that. I'm hoping he just makes Stacks' life hell. And I don't know what this is going to mean for Ariana because she was supposed to be liaison. Now she's not going to be liaison, but she probably is because Ava doesn't know who's actually liaisoning between NXT and TNA. And then there's Robert Stone, who's supposed to be the NXT assistant vice principal, but he's not at work. Instead, he's working with the other girls. And there's just nobody's working together here, despite the fact that everything is great and we all work together and we love each other. There's nothing here that screams functional story because one hand's not talking to the other. And then Santino is also being put in positions to have matches potentially. And if that is, I hate it. Again, he runs the show from a kayfabe standpoint. He should be putting his son-in-law through the ringer and making him deal with shitty situations. I get it. That's not what a heel and babyface would do. It would be the other way around. If Stacks was in charge, you put Santino through the ringer, but get the title off of him before you do a potential match between those two. The international title could be more than it is. It was presented as a workhorse title. It has not been used as such, but man, the opportunity's there. And it's not with Stacks and Santino fighting for the title. That's not what the story is. At least not now. So we'll see. We'll see what they do with it. My feelings are not great towards it. I thought you started off with such a strong night having Bear Bronson get that world title shot, win that battle royal, get that match with Frankie on the first Impact of 26. I'm fine with that. But the way this ended was just like, where are we? What are we doing? Why are we bothering? It's just ridiculous. Meanwhile, Matt Hardy's in a shrine to himself in the back in some sort of gymnasium looking thing. And the Righteous are basically threatening to murder him to make him immortal. I don't know what that is, but it's creepy and it works. And then Matt Hardy starts to get a little weird and he doesn't escape, but the Righteous make it feel like you can leave, but looks like a Stockholm syndrome type of thing. But a nice little Avengers outro for this week's episode. I don't know much to say because this is, like I said, my last one. This is the last TNA review before the new year. Next time you see me, Bear Bronson versus Frankie Kazarian will be a match. Next 2 weeks is going to be a random match plus a bunch of awards and best ofs and all that stuff. So go ahead while you're here, leave a thumbs up because you love it. Say nice things in the comments. Be like, we love TNA reviews because they're short and sweet, just like TNA should be. And also say something like, we don't need Santino on the mat in 2026. But that's just me. That's just me. You know what? Have your own opinions. I appreciate y'all. Leave a thumbs up on the way out. Subscribe to Fightful Select. Prices are going up soon, so you might want to lock in now. Join us on In the Weeds Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern, over on Fightful Overbooked, our sister channel. Till then, ladies, gentlemen, friends beyond the binary, I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.